Ben, Sam, and Ken are on separate journeys to defeat the menacing Vile Dragon. But let's just say luck isn't on their side. If only there was a way for them to find each other and band together. Well, that's why there's Band. It's a mobile app that allows people to come together using common interests. With Band, you can find fellow gamers, chat, schedule gaming sessions, and conduct polls. Stage epic battles with friends while sharing videos and photos along the way. So try Band today. Band. Be together.
Hello folks and welcome. We've got some more collegiate Dota 2 action on our hands. We're going to be seeing the Eagles versus the Giant P. No, obviously Robert Morris up against Purdue, and it'll be really interesting to see how this one shakes out. How you doing, Chaz? Oh gosh, I've killed Chaz. I probably muted him. Oh, I did the smart thing. 1 second. I have turned off my voice activation, so poor Chaz has no idea what I'm saying. Now Chaz can hear me. How you doing?
Doing great, Llama. Doing great.
So this one should be, well, pretty standard. Apparently we're just picking Warlock, we're picking Ogre Magi, that's the rules. And Bat Rider now coming out, so slightly less common pick than the other two.
Yeah, it's slightly more out there, but Bat's been being picked up more and more just because apparently he also falls in the category of Outworld Devour, where the more you nerf him, the more he's played. So, I don't know. It's nice to see him in CSL. We haven't seen much of him at all.
And on these two teams, it should be interesting to kind of see how it falls out, since they're both teams kind of hoping, they're pretty even, 3-2, 2-3, but also I think hoping to kind of do a bit better than the previous year.
I mean, RMU's already doing better than they did last year, just this season. Last year, they went 0-7 and 0-6 in fall and spring, respectively. So their 2 wins thus far are a vast improvement over last year. So it's good to see the program doing a bit better than they were.
Yeah. Back onto the draft, we're going to see Venge come out before an OD ban, another hero who's popular to get rid of, and Axe actually getting banned out. We've been seeing a ton of very aggressive Axes.
10 seconds.
Specifically on the East Coast. I don't know what it is with the East Coast Axe players, but they are nuts. These guys are lunatics.
Going hard, just prioritizing his farm a lot, getting that blink up super early, and just really causing havoc around the map. The other interesting ban out there is the Nyx Assassin. Not something we see as commonly banned, so perhaps they were thinking of going for an strong int mid or core.
Yeah, and I just want to point out that Sneaks plays so much Invoker for this team, if I recall correctly. Just looking through all of their drafts, it's I believe it is their most picked hero. They love this hero, Invoker.
Think that if you have a competent Invoker player, it can do a lot of great work. And also, for Robert Morris, they have a lot of options on how they want to build this team. They can still try to go for some heavy push depending on their carry, because they have Bloodlust and Alacrity now to play with. So if they pick up something that can just siege easily, they can really just take early towers very fast.
I misspoke. It was Sammy's Invoker, but yeah, it's the Juggernaut and Venge is just absolutely nuts for pushing. And well, when you throw a Warlock in the mix, we've seen how successful Warlocks have been, even with like subpar ultimates. Just the sheer power of Shadow Word for maintaining a push is nuts. And throw a Beastmaster into the mix too. It's just, boy, lots of pressure on towers.
Yeah, both sides. I think that it's clear now that Purdue, they do want to go for that push lineup with the Beast Monster with Venge and a Jug, you know, the healing ward keeps all that sustain. They still have options on Robert Morris if they want to go something more traditional, maybe try to go later, but Jug is a hero who goes fine late as well.
Yeah, absolutely. He doesn't fall off nearly as hard as something like a Razor or what else falls in that game? Even Drow to an extent. Drow still hits pretty hard late game, but Jug is effective at all points. So I think if you're RMU here, you definitely need something that deals with pushing a bit better, because they're going to have a lot of waves pouring into their base. And as it stands, they don't do a great job dealing with that.
Reserve time.
I think something like a Sven, or Sven got banned out. So
Yeah,
I think
immediately
one of the only options.
It's
Anti-mage? Yeah, it's this stuff.
I think that they can still, on Robert Morris, go for just a lot of things that have been knocked out, though. I was going to say, because, like, the Morphling would have made sense, but of course banned out, as you said, the Sven. They could try to maybe go for something like a Lifestealer, gets a little bit of free magic immunity coming out there, and of course can easily take down golems, but he's not so easy for sieging. He could hop in the Batrider and do well, though, but yeah, it's kind of a... It does feel... Oh, okay. I was not expecting the Lifestealer on that side, but that's fine. Like, whatever, I'm right. It's... I got a Lifestealer. Really odd. Actually, this dropped, because now I don't... I guess Jug mid into the Invoker.
Yeah, it'll be a mid lane Jug. Unless they're doing something completely bonkers, but... Lifestealer. I was going to say, things that rely on magic immunity, really not too good into Purdue's draft. Between the Warlock Golem, the Vengeful Spirit swap, Beastmaster Roar, and Ursa. Well, that's what you throw mid against the Jug, right? I mean...
Yeah, you can definitely go for that swap up depending on how confident you are in your Invoker. The thing that's a little bit weird about the Ursa pickup, it relies on getting those quick kills, right? And he doesn't actually siege well at all.
Yeah, no, not at all.
I guess they should be able to have good rush control, being dire. They will take down objectives still very fast with the Bloodlust, but it's kind of an interesting draft from this dire team.
Yeah, I would agree. This is kind of odd, and especially if the waves do start pouring in like I'm expecting it to, because the Radiant lineup is very strong at pushing. If they do that, they don't have great ways to just deal with waves. It's going to be pretty overwhelming. So I think if Radiant pulls ahead here, they'll have a pretty easy time controlling the map.
It's going to be really interesting to see how the early game goes, because I think this will decide a lot. If the Beast Monster has a rough time in lane, may be forced to jungle, or whether Ursa can get some kills on either, whether it's the Jug mid or whether it's the Beast Monster in the off lane. Decide a lot of how this game progresses, because I do think that it feels like Radiant lineup is just very easy for pushing. You're going to knock down towers.
That Lifestealer pick still at the end there is very surprising. I don't know how easy it is going to be to execute with the Lifestealer, because the rest of the draft makes sense in its entirety. Lifestealer as the farming core, though, I mean, he'll have plenty of space, I suppose. but it really doesn't have the standard Infest Bomb. Maybe it was a deny pick, because as you were mentioning, this would have been a pretty good pick for the side of RMU. So
It just feels like a lot to deny pick, and as you mentioned,
yeah, exactly.
even though I said that like I thought Lifestealer could work on the Dire, it's true that there's a lot that goes through the magic immunity. It's like you'll dodge the stun, you'll dodge some of the Blade Fury damage, but there's Primal Roar, the Chaotic Offering, and the Venge swap all go through the a BKB or the magic immunity. So I don't know. It didn't feel like there were amazing options left for this Dire lineup. I guess they could have tried to go something super late like a Medusa. Their lineup so far isn't super greedy, so maybe they could have afforded a safe lane Medusa, but...
I mean, this is all just conjecture, right? I'm very intrigued to see how they use the Lifestealer, because it's a very abrupt change of direction from where the rest of the draft was going, and especially against a Bat Rider, who he's not particularly good against Lifestealer, I'd say, but it's a guaranteed 2 to 3 seconds for the Ursa to just go to town, right? So a lot of the strength of the Lifestealer is negated just by the presence of a Bat Rider. I don't know. It just feels like a very strange pick to me, but we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, he's a strong carry. He's a natural Deso carrier is the other nice thing about a Lifestealer. With the help of the Healing Ward, he can siege pretty easily, which is something you normally do have trouble with in... Like, a Lifestealer doesn't want to always go up to the tower and be the one smacking away at it, but when you have a Healing Ward around to make sure that nothing goes wrong, I think it's more options. We will have to see once our Bat Rider's back. We'll look at effigies for the moment. Oh, only 3 commends. Effigies. Plus.
I'm digging the superhero landing on the rating side. That's probably my favorite out of these.
Oh, I did not. What is awful? Okay. Oh, I get it. I was like, because his head's missing when I look in, and I was like, where am I even looking? Yes, superhero landings. Very.
It's the void.
Well, I don't. I like how I can't tell if the one on AA is like, I hate AA or I hate playing AA, you know? Like, I can't tell if the player's like, I hate this hero, I think he's really dumb, I never want to see him again, or what is going on there. But
I don't think anybody could dislike playing Ancient Apparition. Okay, maybe before level 6, but after that, easily the most fun hero in the game. Bar none.
Yeah, I super enjoy it, but I think, as you said, getting to that level 6, especially in this meta where you're expecting sometimes one support at least, sometimes even both supports to be roaming, can be frustrating to be an AA and lane. Okay, so. Well, we will be finding out shortly who's going where. Unfortunately, nobody's even bought items. Because I'm really interested, right? The safe lane Invoker isn't something we see much, but being... Unless... If this Jug knows what he's doing, you can do really well mid as a Jug. Into an Invoker.
Yeah. Invoker just, in general, does not have a very easy time in lane. If you throw someone like Jug up against an Invoker, oh good lord, that is a rough lane. I imagine they're going to throw the Ursa mid, presuming that the Jug goes mid, right? I don't know. These lanes are super interesting. Like you said, we can't really tell until items are purchased what anything's going to do in this game, right? For all I know, this is an Ogre mid, but... Last pick was a Bat Rider, right? Yeah.
Yeah, so I think expecting rotations on the mid lane. This is one nice thing for this Invoker if he does end up being the one to go mid. Warlock isn't so easily able to roam. The Venge, of course, can. I'm expecting a smoke up early from the Venge, but it's usually something where it's a bit harder for a Warlock to be super effective. Like, you just don't think of him as a roaming, ganking hero. Versus the Witch Doctor and the Ogre Magi are both pretty dang good at that.
Yeah.
So
I feel like the Warlock's just gonna have to stay in lane. Maybe TPing in for a counter initiation, but honestly, Roaming the Warlock just feels awful. He does effectively nothing. What are we drawing now?
Oh, we're just scribbling on the map. It's nothing. There are some teams in games who draw over the entire map just in case people are like stream sniping, but we're so early. There's literally no knowledge on this map. Like nobody's even bought anything to indicate where they're potentially going.
I thought they were sending us messages, but no, he's actually just bored.
I really enjoy. My favorite is when teams work together to draw something. Like, they'll draw a bird, but, like, one player will draw the head and the other draws the body, and, like, someone else fills in the eyes and the beak and stuff, because you know how it fades, so...
True team synergy, right?
Yeah.
Like, if you could do that, you are an effective team in this Collegiate Star League. Is that Hello World?
Yeah, I think it's meant to be Hello World, but it's, like, or word, or... Oh, she's up here.
Oh, God!
It's happened. So, similar experience. My girlfriend was complaining about how they had, like, they have Street Fighter V in the office, but it hasn't been, they didn't have an Ethernet cable for the, whatever, I don't even know what console Street Fighter's on. So she was making sure to get it set up because it needed to update, and it turns out they have to do it over wireless, so it's going to take, like, a day for this thing to update. So... Because they, like, got fighting sticks and everything ready, and then someone finally checked, because, like, they knew they had Street Fighter V, and they're like, oh, actually, this thing is not, in, you know, the right, in date or whatever, so... Just gonna have to wait a day.
And that game requires constant online, too. That would be a nightmare on nothing but wireless.
It's definitely a trend, right, of these games moving towards you gotta constantly be online, sometimes frustrating if you're not in the best of...
I would agree.
Okay, what do we, oh, I think it's meant to be noughts and crosses, but he really messed up some of the lines, and he's playing against himself, which is not... Okay, well, there you go.
He put a second X.
Yeah, third, too. Like, there was a lot... There was only one circle.
Yeah.
It's not the most fair game of noughts and crosses.
So is it only Americans that call it tic-tac-toe?
I'm pretty
Because I feel
sure.
noughts and crosses is far more descriptive.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Americans... I think it's meant to be... Right? The Americans are like, it's tic-tac-toe? Or like, when you win, you say tic-tac-toe. But yeah, I don't know. It's like, it's the same as that phrase, and also in Australia we say, I have pins and needles, which is the equivalent of my foot fell asleep.
Right.
But I prefer pins and needles because I feel like that's what it feels like.
It's more accurate.
Yeah, when someone says my foot fell asleep, I'm like, is it numb? And it's like, oh, it's not numb. I'm feeling stuff. So,
if sleep felt like this, I would never sleep again.
Yeah. So it's always interesting to see these differences, but yeah. Call it noughts and crosses. But then we pronounce like a bunch of words super incorrectly in Australia, so it's fine. Not like accent incorrectly. Like we actually, like Yoshi or Yoshi, however it's actually said, we definitely pronounce it the wrong way.
Wait,
So.
you pronounced the green dinosaur Yoshi?
Yeah, maybe.
What?
Or maybe just like where the town I'm from was full of idiots. Which is actually accurate. I'm from a small town called Adelaide, which is actually a capital city.
Yeah, that's not that small.
Yeah, but it's still like, it's not, you know, it's not the most exciting of places. They've got some things that they say about it that I can't say on this stream. So, but yeah,
it's the Bible Belt of Australia.
No, thank goodness no. I don't know if we super have a like Bible Belt. We're actually much less religious in Australia. Like, we're definitely, I would say, most people
that's
are
an American
Christian.
thing.
But also, like, I think it's because we're part of, like, since we're descended from the British and, like, still part of the Commonwealth, we're very much...
colony.
Yeah, we're very much Church of England. We're not Protestant, and Church of England is all like, I made a church because I wanted to have more wives. So, we're pretty chill about, I would say, a lot of religious things. Benja's internet is dead. Great. Okay, so 4v4, we can do this. It's fair. You know.
Yeah.
Seems...
If they just swap heroes real quick and just agree to abandon the off lane.
Yep.
This
Very
can be
fair. Yeah.
I think the only proper reaction to this is to laugh it out.
I'm actually really surprised that they're playing, because I thought some of them would be attending places where they get Thanksgiving off, like the whole week. Something.
Yeah, UCSD only gets the day of and the day after off. We're back every other day of the week.
I think it's funny. I've definitely worked somewhere where we had just Thanksgiving Day off,
Yeah,
and technically
back
we
to
don't
work
have
the
the
next
Friday off, but like nobody would go into work on the Friday. So it's like, yeah, I don't have this day off, but I'm not going into work, and I'm probably just gonna play video games at home. Good day.
That's every day, Llama. That's every day of the week for me.
Yeah, but unfortunately not what we can do every day of the week. But yeah, it's always interesting to see how different schools like allot the time for that. I think my university used to give the week of Thanksgiving off, but we had less breaks somewhere else. I can't remember if it's that we started earlier or we had less of a spring break or something, but we like very consciously... Oh no, we would go like up until December 20th. That's how we made up for it.
Wow!
Yeah. We'd go...
What?
Yeah, we'd go really close to Christmas. That's how. Now I remember.
Holy smokes.
Because yeah, it was always really weird. We like... we went right up till Christmas, pretty much, and then, yeah.
Louise.
I don't know. I liked it. I don't really enjoy breaks. I would just like the year to go by, and get it done. When I was in university, very focused on just having it end. So now it's Venda's turn to be DC'd. I've been trying to look over the cosmetics to see if we have anything good, but a couple of them, like, I don't know if you can see this jug, but all I see is glowing light.
I do have the Jugs cosmetic, and it looks weird.
It's just...
I hate this mask.
I think it's actually his... If I turn to the side a little bit, it's not an awful mask or anything. It's kind of like a head of an animal.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Oh, you don't like that type of thing? It makes me think...
It looks like a dead antelope. I don't understand why you would want to look like a dead antelope.
It strikes fear into your enemies. Like, I killed this thing, and now I'm wearing its skeleton.
An antelope? But one of the most pansy of the fields animals?
No, like, they run really fast.
Killing something that moves fast isn't exactly going to strike fear into my opponents.
I would be pretty scared of that. Like, it's I don't know. I would be pretty worried about that.
Like if he had Roshan on his head, I would be running. I would instantly DC. I would abandon that game ASAP. But he's an antelope, right? I would solo lane a support against that.
I don't know. I would be worried about the able to kill fast moving heroes. I'm trying to see if we've got any other better cosmetics.
I like the Beastmaster set. It's a bit busy as far as colors go, but I like it.
Oh yeah, is that the like Captain America one? Where you have like a hawk that's the eagle? Or is that not the set?
I've never seen it, but I really hope it's true.
Okay, no, there's very much an American Beastmaster set. Because I definitely was given it by a friend with some comments about me being Australian on the item. But yeah, there's like an American Beastmaster set, and you get like an eagle, and then I don't know what is the small animal equivalent. Oh my goodness, this bat rider, what on earth? He's riding like a zombie bat. What the shit?
Oh, that's terrifying. Good lord.
Yeah, that's not right.
Oh my god.
I can't tell if it's meant to be like a metal shield on its face, or whether it's meant to be like its skin stitched back together.
I'm looking in detail mode, and that's just an ugly mount. I'm pretty sure it's meant to be stitched back. Ugh.
I don't know. It's
It looks atrocious.
Different people like different things. You know, there's definitely a crowd that enjoys the skin sewn together look. And
I agree, but my
Silence of the
opinion is
Lambs.
best.
Didn't like JoJo. I have a friend. So speaking of, because they're talking about anime, I have a friend who's been trying to convince me for about 3 weeks to watch JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, which I assume is what they're referring to. I don't know. I'm not super hip on the anime now that I'm older, but yeah,
I'm not huge into anime either, but before you do anything else tonight, Llama, you need to start watching One Punch Man.
No, I don't. I really don't.
No, I have not even begun my transcendence to weeb yet, and One Punch Man is easily the best anime that I think I will ever watch in my life. It is phenomenal.
No, I've been ruined because I watched. I hadn't actually seen Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood before,
Oh yeah, I hear
and
that's
then
good too.
I watched that, and it's like, oh, everything else seems like shit. Like, it was actually really bad. It ruined a lot of media for me. But we have a game, team. We might finally find out where people are going. What's in store for them? It does look like we're running Osa safe lane. Yeah, Sneak's headed out there, so that is what we're gonna see. And
Really?
yeah, I mean it's fine, I guess is what we'll see. Yeah, so is this the American? No, I don't know.
think
I don't
so,
think this is
'cause
the
that's-
American one. I swear there's an American set though. I swear there's an American set with like an American eagle, and it's very
I hope so.
like well, Sneaks is hanging around here, but I definitely think we are gonna see Invoker mid just based on some items, and I think it's fine either way.
Yeah, and every other game that Sammy's played the Invoker, it's been in the mid lane. So I would assume he would go there again. The curious thing is that Sneaks also plays support. So I guess the supports and himself rotate positions, which is fairly unusual for
30
CSL
seconds
teams.
to
So
battle.
Yeah,
you can
it's
see the flexibility there.
mid rotating to a different role is kind of the rarest. I feel like mid is. I guess you can also argue a lot of. Well, let me rephrase. Mid rotating to play support is really rare. Mid knowing how to play the one position is fine.
Right.
Is something we actually see not uncommonly. Mid rotating to play support is rare, and then off lane knowing how to play support is pretty. Yeah, it's gonna be okay. So now we have to Comcast. Oh, I know those feelings. Oh my goodness, we're actually technically meant to be moving off of Comcast into some fiber or something, but they never called us back. Seattle's like our governor, just like straight up. No, it was either Seattle's mayor or Washington's governor. Someone made a deal with Comcast, and we're all suffering.
Yeah.
So, but this means we can go back to talking about anime. I was saying Full Metal Alchemist, like, so legit. Hadn't watched it, and we watched Full Metal Alchemist after watching a bunch of very, other shows that have, like, concise, well-done arcs. Like, you know how there are a lot of procedural shows, but then there are shows that actually kind of have a plot across multiple episodes, and I feel like that's similar to what Full Metal Alchemist does. I was just like, oh, this is the best, and now I tried to watch some other shows after it, and I wasn't enjoying it as much, because I used to watch a lot of procedural stuff, because you can just put it on in the background. You're like, I know the bad guy's gonna get caught, whatever. Oh, we're actually blaming Comcast. Okay, let's do this. I'm down.
All I'm saying before we get back to this game is please do not knock One Punch Man. All right,
I just don't take it seriously.
8
anyway.
seconds.
Yeah, let's do this. We're gonna see probably a standard rune
The
split,
battle begins.
and kind of waiting to find out where exactly these supports end up rotating. Venge actually does already have a smoke, so it should be some good stuff. And the Witch Doctor and the Ogre don't have a smoke between them, but it looks like Ogre may pop in mid just to go, you know, exchange some blows with this jug.
Yeah, I as I was mentioning, I'm pretty sure Invoker is just gonna have an awful time in this lane. With the Ogre here, at least the Jug is gonna be slightly lower and more vulnerable, but honestly, Jug in any solo lane is a menace, so
Yeah,
I like the play from RMU here.
I'm really interested to see if this jug knows basically how to play into this, and yeah, the Ogre making life a lot better for Invoker, so like to see that. Now, Batrider is already, as you talked about, getting harassed by the Shadow Word spam, so we'll have to see whether he can stand up to it as things progress.
Yeah, and as long as Warlock's here, I don't think Bat's going to get too much out of this lane. He should get XP. I don't imagine they're going to harass him back to the well, but he should get enough XP to stay relevant. It's the main issue on Bat, though, is getting money for Tranks and Blink, or Force in a reasonable time, so that's going to be the tough bit from him, because Beastmaster, we know he's going to get his farm. He's just been sitting in the jungle, although he's in a bit of trouble right now.
Yeah, he's doing the hard camp Ogre Magic, trying to take the last hit from him. He's not going to be able to get it, but does, of course, get experience. If Beastmaster can't do the hard camp, as you said, he just goes back fully to the jungle, and there's not too much the supports on RMU can do about it.
They're harassing the bat back, but again, I think he's getting what he needs to out of this lane, and especially relative to the Beastmaster, who's going to get absolutely nothing from this. Anytime the Witch Doctor shows up, it could just be his death, so... It's like one of the drawbacks of the boar, right? It's just another cast bounce target.
Yeah, it's a super nice pickup, the Witch Doctor into the Beastmaster. Not only for the kind of assured cost bounce, but you have to expect that you're going to be seeing a lot of units out of him, and so having that 5-second stun duration on creeps is really nice.
I really like this play, though, from the bench coming to the mid, at least to harass the Invoker a bit. And if he oversteps his bounds even just a little bit, that's going to be a full duration spin from the Juggernaut. She's going to head back down, but I like the thought. Pretty sure they caught the Ogre rotating back up top, so if you know 3 heroes are up there, why not try for it, right?
I think they've done a really good job on the Radiant side with this ward vision to spot the rotations coming for Juggernaut, and also keeping an eye on the Bat, kind of knowing if Bat's even hiding back in lane or has gone to jungler camp. That can allow the Radiant supports just to kind of do what they want.
I'm kind of surprised that Bat hasn't fallen back sooner to like stack his own camp, because I feel like that'd be a good way to at least catch up with the Beastmaster, because we know the Beastmaster is doing his own thing, farming the hard camp, but Ogre watched him do it, right? So I would kind of expect the Bat to try to increase his own gold efficiency rather than stay in lane. I think I'd like to see it, but at this point it might be too late. He's just going to pick up Tranks and probably stay around.
Yeah, I think it's really hard, especially in the early game. Actually, speaking of Batrider, he's in a lot of trouble here. Going to get open wounds, being slowed down, but they don't quite have the auto attacks in the tower doing too much damage. So Batrider probably going to be forced to back or suicide. Maybe, oh, just doesn't go down to Lost Word thanks to that ring and the tangos. I was going to say, I think it's just hard to find the timing. He just didn't seem to find the right timing for backing out and making sure he was getting as much experience as he wanted in mid lane.
He should be fine overall now. Like with Tranquil Boots, it's going to be a lot harder to kill him, especially just with the armor given by it. So I think he'll be okay, but it's worth mentioning now that Jug is definitely not a kill possibility now for the Invoker with the poor man shield. It's just... He's going to be extremely hard to kill, and I think as soon as Venge shows up, the Invoker just dies. I'm pretty confident in saying that, because the level 3 spin combined with any stun that the Venge could put down would just be fatal. I think I'm going to catch the Bat, actually.
Actually, a nice job here, Bat. Trying to contest these stacks. Does manage to get a couple of lost hits here. Maybe even more. He's really trying to get that one. Oh, he does manage to get the big creep. No. Lifestealer unable to grab it, so... Well done, Bat, there, taking the stack from the poles.
Yeah, I really think Purdue needed to shift focus and just take the camp. As soon as the Bat has Firefly on it with lots of sticky napalm stacks, you really just got to take the camp. He's no longer a kill, right? He'll get out alive. I think that was a slight misstep from Purdue.
And it's always hard when you're playing into someone like a Bat or an Axe in the off lane. You have to be very careful about protecting your stacks and also protecting your lane, thinking about rotating mid. So it was a really good job of Batrider to notice he could take some liberties there. Although he's getting open wounded again. Venge with the stun. It looks to be first blood going down to Venge. While at the same time in mid, they have gone for a kill onto the Juggernaut. His spin is on cooldown and he will die. Yeah,
he was spinning to get last hits. And that, to the Ogre, is a red flag, like, hey, come on in and stun me. So that's what you missed. But I think getting the first blood on the Batrider just seconds before is pretty huge for Purdue.
Yeah, really nicely done there. It's also, you know, it's a hard kill to get. They managed to secure it, but the worrying thing is this Invoker, he'd already been doing pretty well in mid thanks to the early help from Ogre, and now he's pretty much dominating it. He's probably going to be doubling the Juggernaut soon, especially with this DD.
Yeah, absolutely. And what was a decent lane, I would imagine, for the Jug is... I've been saying this all game. The Jug doesn't really lose a lane, but now he's behind, and by a fair bit. And it gets double damage, you can't stay. So I guess Venge is here. They want to try something funny. I'm not sure I agree with this. Go for it anyways.
Try to go for it. The stun does come out onto Invoker. He can't turn invisible, so the Omni Slash and the spin will do it. Nicely done.
I thought he would be dragging the Forge Spirit with him, but he didn't, and that's... Hey, Jug will take those 3 free hits any day of the week, so...
Yeah.
A nice setup. I was hesitant to go for it, but I guess it paid off in the end.
That's the type of thing you have to worry about playing into the Juggernaut if you don't have your Forge Spirit near you, if you're not in a creep wave. Because Jug has spun it down, you're gonna be liable to take an Omni Slash.
We haven't talked too much about the Ursa. He's kind of having the time of his life up here.
Yeah, both the Ursa and the Lifestealer have free farm.
The Bat, though, is getting some stacks. Again, as we mentioned, he probably could have got more had he stacked, but didn't really see the opportunity. This Ursa, on the other hand, probably hasn't seen the Beastmaster in a few waves.
I think something that they do need to watch out for on...
Venge is in trouble, actually.
Oh yeah, Venge should be going down here. Sunstrike gonna hit, brings her down. Fatal Bond's not enough to do anything. Something both sides need to be a little bit careful about. It's kind of funny. Lifestealer can do good work into an Ursa, but Ursa just... He doesn't care about your rage with the way that Fury swipes work, so they do need to be really careful, it feels like, on Radiant, on Purdue for right now, just because they might not be able to play into an Ursa.
Yeah, the Ursa is going to have... with the start he's been given, is going to have a very strong mid-game, and especially given the Ogre and the Witch Doctor, I really think that this mid-game is going to favor RMU very heavily. Just as soon as the Bat gets his ultimate, he can just show up to a lane, and that's a free kill for the Ursa. Just with overpowered Fury swipes, which he's maxed out, by the way. That is going to be a free kill. So I'm looking for RMU to pull that off as soon as the Bat hits 6. Which he just did.
Top tower is under attack.
Wouldn't be surprised if we see a smoke up. Actually, Bat really wanting to get the blink before smoking. So we've got some ward wars, and now we do have 4 in mid. Primal Roar coming out onto Invoker. There's going to be another nice Omni Slash, and Sammy, actually getting a nice bit of stuns onto Ho-Ho, but he should not be able to secure this. Forged Spirits be damned. Nice attempt there by Invoker to get something done before he dies.
Yeah, he didn't have mana for the spin. I'm not sure if Invoker knew that or just winged it, but regardless. Oh, this might be a kill onto the Witch Doctor as well.
Yeah, not exactly the best place to be. It's also going to be a kill onto Ursa if he's not lucky here. He's trying to run away, does manage to salve up, and unfortunately knocked off there by the axes, but Snake should be able to run it out. And nice job there by Warlock getting that early level 6, panning out.
Yeah, Venge, not 6 yet, doesn't have swap, and that would have been a kill. Midas up on the Invoker too. Losing there, so there's a big deal, but I think... okay, they're gonna lose the Ogre as well.
Oh.
That one was a freebie.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Losing the Ursa would have made that far worse for RMU, but I still think they're in a decent place.
Yeah, Purdue's kind of getting away with murder here. They just got a bunch of kills in a row. I'm not... These 1-by-1 engagements, so are not doing them any favors. Ursa gonna manage to take down the Golem, so at least he gets a lot of gold there, and maybe able to find Venge here. She doesn't have enough mana for a stun, so Snake's coming on in, gonna give him the ground pound. Oh, English. And there's the stun finally, but Batrider, gonna be Ursa who finishes it off.
Those were a lot of freebies. The Golem going to Ursa was unnecessary. Venge stuck around for a bit too long, but even both supports from RMU just kind of hanging around for too long, and those are missteps that you pay for in the long run, right? There's really no reason to be feeding over a Golem and your support Venge. Just pretty big missteps there in my mind.
Yeah, luckily, I think that both sides making the small mistakes there, keeping them still pretty even. The things to watch is whether this Invoker's farm, whether he's able to have it shoot up. And similarly with Juggernaut, I don't know what item build he will try to go. Might be worried about getting a Battle Fury to keep up with Invoker, but may also just opt for something that allows him to get involved earlier. Oh, and there is Paralyzing Cost bounces, beautiful ones. Lifestealer coming out, trying to do something here onto Jojo, manages to get that kill, and they should also get the Ogre Magi. So nicely done, 2 for 1 with Aimfire, getting some more kills to his name.
He ran from this camp as the Satyr all the way to where he got. He ran by 2 Radiant Wards, and they still did not back up. That is just not using your vision. They really should have backed up. And yeah, it's not as obvious as, you know, the circles or arrows that you see on the mini-map, but still, you really need to catch that, and that's going to cost him a kill.
Yeah, another Primal Roar onto mid, but I'm not sure just... Oh, okay, there is still no Invis on this Invoker. He drops the Ice Wall. Rage doesn't care about that, and Invoker will go down. Ogre Magi desperately trying to fight against this Lifestealer, but he's just fine.
And that could have been much worse. We were talking about how the boar is kind of a downside for the Beastmaster, giving an extra cast bounce. In that case, it helped him out. You know, sometimes giving it a decoy to bounce is a-okay, but wow, just kill after kill.
Yeah, they're doing a really great job on Purdue of getting these kills, just taking what little bits they can get. And it's going to start adding up. We can see that they're managing to get themselves a bit of a lead. Yes, Ursa got Roshan, but this is the second time in about 3 minutes where Invoker's been killed and had his Midas on cooldown.
That being said, Ursa will have his Blink right now, and Blink and Aegis will give him plenty of room to go pretty much wherever he wants, especially in conjunction with the Bat Rider, who also has his Blink. That's a pretty much a free kill on demand, as long as they're together, so... I'm looking forward to seeing the Bat and the Ursa run together, and it looks like they will, as soon as this camp's gone.
It's a really nice setup, like you mentioned. Ogre Magi isn't bringing a smoke, so it looks like they'll just try to get one blind. They do have some good vision here of the lifesteal. There we go. The lasso trying to drag... Actually, they haven't dragged him away from the creep wave, but they get the kill before he's able to infest anything. Oh, he had it on cooldown. Just...
Yeah, and that's what's going to happen. That's... I believe, the tankiest member of the entirety of Purdue, and he just could not withstand the Ursa Bat Rider. And I don't know why Jug's here.
He was being very greedy. Pops the Invis Rune. Let's see if they can do any follow-up on these supports, but RMU decided to back it up.
Yeah, it's fine. If the Ogre was closer, that's probably a kill with his Sentry, but not a big deal, you know. I don't know why Jug farmed that knowing the Lifestealer just died there. That's really the signal to back up and restart close to your own base. Regardless, he'll get out with his life, and Juggernaut, that's a tough kill.
Now, they have good Hawk vision of Invoker on Purdue, so... Oh, they were thinking of stalking him, but instead gonna have to... Oh my gosh, this is dirty. I like seeing this. They have put Lifestealer inside the Hawk, gonna be at the ready to jump out on Invoker, who... Yeah, he... is farming okay. He's third on the net worth. You kind of expect more of the guy with the Midas.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, those kills really set him back. Being behind the Juggernaut is not ideal, and he's tied for most deaths on his team. That's huge.
Oh, we're gonna see another lasso. 4 more seconds. Rage has been used. There is no infest. He used it earlier. Primal Roar immediately going onto the Bat Rider, though. He wants to get off this lasso, but instead he's going to be forced to just try and back out. A beautiful Death Ward, though, from Jojo, getting a double kill. Well, helping to get 2 of those kills. And holy Hannah, that Death Ward just did so much work there.
Yeah, and Lifestealer was just on this bizarre adventure into their jungle, and Jojo made him pay. So now they have all this space on the map to work with. 2 heroes down, and it looks like they should get a tower off this. I would imagine. Did they not want to push? I feel like they could have got a tower off that had the Ursa stuck around.
I think that they might be a little bit wary of the Chaotic Offering. And speaking of Warlock, Midas finished on that guy. Looks like he's got a bit of gold as well. So Sub 15-minute, probably Midas. Really nicely done. There is still a lasso here. They're trying to do some damage onto the vent. A big jump in by the Ursa. There's the chaotic offering we were talking about. And Ursa does get stunned up, but then immediately Bloodlust. Nice slash. Manages to pick off Batrider. Really lucky that the bounces weren't shared among the whole team. The Juggernaut gets another kill, while Ursa finally finds the bench over on the side.
That could have been far better for Robert Morris University. Had the Batrider just waited for the Blink Dagger to be off cooldown again and not run headstrong into their team, I feel like that would have been at least 2 kills going the way of RMU, uncontested at that. But they give the Warlock time to react, and not ideal. They should get the golem here. I feel that needs to be a priority.
Unfortunately, you can't go for the Golem with lifesteal so close by. Open Wounds. They're throwing out the Paralyzing Cask, but unfortunately he is raged up. They're going to try for the turnaround now. And Ogre Magi, you have to be careful. The Golem does a lot of damage, but there are some heals coming out from the Witch Doctor. And that should be the end of things for both sides. Ogre Magi getting incredibly low there. All for a Golem.
That's free gold. That's, what was it, 200 free gold?
150, maybe?
150? Still, I feel that's too much to be handing over for free. I think with the Golem, in those situations, like, they have disengaged, just throw it to a camp. Just toss it to the wayside, let it get you some gold. Any gold going the way of RMU is just a pretty big deal, in my mind. So, again, small misstep, and probably something not to harp over, but that's the second time the Golem's kind of just been handed to RMU.
Yeah, it's a bit like Tombstone. You do want to be a bit careful about the microing and the positioning because you don't want to just keep giving over that gold. I think that so far Chaotic Offering has been used well. You know, it was avenged for a Batrider. Purdue will take that every day of the week.
Tower is under attack.
Yeah, and I guess summon units aren't the biggest deal at the end of the day, so I really don't want to harp on it too much. And Warlock having a Midas at this point is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Oh, I did not consider this in Fest Bomb. This is an interesting one.
Yeah, they already did that once. They weren't able to get the kill. I'm not sure that the Lifestealer has enough items to be looking for solo kills. And really interestingly, looking for the Echo Saber next isn't building straight into a Deso. But he does want this to start working. And maybe Jojo. Oh gosh, Jojo, you need to run. There's something inside of that bird. Jojo tries to throw out the Maledict, but there is nothing there for him. They will have stun up when the rage wears out in a second. Here they go. They are nice swap from the Venge, though. She will probably fall here. One more auto attack. They can't quite get her. And Ogre Magi pushed over to the side. Ursa's gonna go down. Aegis had expired just a little bit ago. That lasso, not the one the Batrider wanted. Chaotic Offering, trying to make sure that they get themselves the Invoker as well, who eats an Omni Slash and goes down. What a nice fight.
Absolutely. I thought he was dead to rights, right? As soon as he started running away from the 3 heroes RMU was sending at him, great swap from the Venge, though. It just, immaculate timing to be there. And at the end of the day, that's a 4-0. That's great for Purdue.
Yeah, they're doing
now we
it.
can use the Golem to push.
Yeah, and also Necronomicon's level 1, I believe, is up on, level 2, actually, finished on Beastmaster.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
Oh, they were
Now the map is theirs.
He has 3, actually, in a second here. So, Beastmaster doing great. The Warlock with the Midas that we already talked about. Purdue is just going to shoot up and farm, and I'm not sure what the best response is here for RMU, because Ursa and Batrider, yeah, they can get solo pickoffs, but the team fight has to be brought by Invoker.
That's a good point, and Invoker's really not in fighting shape yet. Does have drums. That's about it. Midas is nothing to scoff at in terms of just DPS, but I don't think RMU's in fighting shape just yet.
I think another big problem for this Invoker that the Midas is meant to help is that he's only level 12. The Juggernaut's already level 13. You're hoping the Midas helps you really get those levels so you're a big presence in team fights. And it just hasn't happened through the really great team fighting from Purdue.
Yeah, Purdue's team fighting has been pretty great thus far. As soon as Batrider gets the Force Staff that he's working on, I think that'll be a bit alleviated. Just being able to scoot your teammates out from Warlock ult or Primal Roar, right? It gives you some leeway in what you can and can't get away with. Until then, I don't foresee Purdue really losing the fight.
So, Really interestingly, I thought that Lifestealer was going Echo Saber because I've seen that more frequently than I've seen the Orchid on Lifestealer, but I think it makes sense for what they've been trying to do in the jungle, which is pick off the Invoker, who they need to make sure doesn't invis out or tornado or something, so he can pop out of that bird and immediately Orchid. There's a good chance of getting the kill. Did we just... Okay, we didn't just lasso, that was just bat burning stuff.
Well, he's actually in some trouble, and again.
Yeah, that's going to be the attempted drag away from the creeps, and they managed to get him. Also, Basher finished on this Ursa, so single pickups, they're the bread and butter of RMU.
Alacrity Basher, no less. This, again, not to make it sound like RMU's out. The team fight that comes out from Purdue is great. But RMU is not out by any stretch of the imagination, as long as they could get pickoffs like that consistently. And they can. That's the strength of the Batrider Invoker Ursa.
They have to be careful.
Powers in the meantime, but...
Yeah, they have to be careful of this type of split push coming out. Batrider gonna TP in. We'll put down some defense. Although Venge getting ready here. They have Primal Roar. They have Swap. They're actually just gonna chain stun him. They need support, but Batrider gonna die before anybody else can come in. And now Juggernaut also in the vicinity. Just gonna help finish off this tower. Oh, the Sunstrike! Oh, he moves. Okay, well.
And consolation prize is the Aegis, right? That's something. Better than nothing, but really, losing the bat and the tower there is not ideal. And again, he's not really needed until Lasso's up. You kind of just want him farming. If you lose downtime on the Lasso pickoffs, though, that's the real kicker for RMU.
It's really hard, I think, for RMU to take these team fights because so much stuff is BKB piercing on Purdue. There's no easy answer of, hey, just pick up a BKB or pick up a Lincoln's. There's just too much that goes through all of that, so I'd be really interested to kind of see what is the response on the diet. Are they just planning on tanking up? Are they going to try to get a million Lotus Orbs? Yeah, it should be interesting.
Lotus Orb would be a good pickup, and that's probably a good ways away, though. The bat just finished the 4th staff, so that helps. But really, I think you'd be wanting your Lotus Orb on the Ogre and Bat, or Bat, preferably the Bat, sometime within the next 12 minutes before you get absolutely steamrolled by Purdue's team fight. I don't know that they have the time to do that necessarily. Warlock is getting ever closer to an Ags the more time they give him. They're baiting it out, too, with the Warlock splitting on his own. Or supposedly on his own.
Ending. I think that they may have noticed. There was some pings. I don't know if they noticed the Lifestealer creep escaping. But he's coming back in, and the rest of the Radiant team getting ready to potentially push on bottom. Juggernaut, again, this is like his 3rd or 4th Invis rune of the game.
Yeah.
Just one of those kind of comical things when it happens sometimes.
We have the S4 rune, and we have the Ho-Ho rune.
Yeah. So he's gotten a lot of them, and they've gotten him out of a lot of trouble, and they've gotten him, I think, 2 kills so far. So. But yeah, if they don't find these pickoffs on the Dire, they will be facing split pushing, because Necronomicon level 3 is up. Beastmaster also has the blink to make sure that he can just drop Necros and blink away at the sign of trouble.
RMU's going to smoke up. I'm a bit surprised by the timing, given that they have a couple of waves moving at them head on. If they could pick up a few kills, is great, but all to scan.
Really nicely done from Purdue. Catching the smoke out, and yeah, nothing will happen. And we can immediately see the pings from Purdue. I really like how they're calling the shots on the game. They're like, hey, we should push top because we know that they just smoked our jungle.
That just super smart and heads-up play from Purdue there. They're going to get way more out of this than RMU did. They're losing time, they're losing money, they lost the smoke. That's probably the biggest one moving into the late game. Smokes help get you out of these holes, you know, and I don't think a tier 2 tower is worth the smoke.
Yeah, they want to get something here, though. We're going to see a very, very dead Batrider who was sent home to defend alone. They're going to throw out their glyph. They've gotten the tower in the bottom lane, and with mass TPs, they should be able to save the tower, but there's still so many units hitting at it. Nice tornado coming through after the swap from Venge puts her in a dangerous position. She is going to burn down. So a nice job catching that. Their tower's still in a little bit of danger with the catapult up, but Lifesteal reinitiating. There's the Chaotic Offering doing a lot of damage over onto this dire lineup, and suddenly it's looking like it's all over. A nice invis coming out from Invoker, but it is too little to... Oh, maybe just enough. Oh gosh, that's going to be the Aegis burning down Invoker. What does he have to back up his teammate as the tower falls? Suddenly, this poor Ursa really needs a hand. Tornado comes out, but 2 units being magic immune. He doesn't stop anyone. And with Ursa silenced up, he can't do anything. There's going to be the buyback on him. Batrider has respawned, does have that lasso. Going to pop it, trying to pull back the Lifestealer into the Sunstrike, and Ursa will help get the kill, but a buyback.
Invoker's just going to die.
Oh, yeah, that was very odd.
He was just slapped to death by the Golem. No one on the side of RMU is respecting the Golem this game.
Yeah. And because of that Invoker death, Warlock only 1 component away from his Aghanims. Just, ugh. It's not looking easy to find the way out of the hole, and as we talked about, it's just so hard to teamfight this Radiant lineup.
We saw, what was it first? The swap from Venge, which was a failure. She paid the price almost immediately. And then RMU just pedal to the metal, ran head in, and then Chaotic Offering absolutely destroyed them. That's the reality they face. They can't go in until really Chaotic Offering and Primal Roar are used. Otherwise, they're going to lose a key hero just instantly. They're lucky Invoker got out after the Chaotic Offering. The fact that they lost Ursa twice is devastating.
Also, burning the Aegis there and then having to buy back is just not ideal. The Ursa is going to work towards an Aghanim Scepter of his own. Means you can pop that Enrage even when you're disabled. But see if it's enough. Nice smoke coming out of the Radiant, but oh, they should catch Ogre at the very least. Not the best target to grab, but it's something. Oh no, they might find the bigger target in Ursa. Immediately Primal Roar onto the Invoker. He's being brought down while Ursa just tries to run away. They're going on the Ogre Magi. He's going to get diffuseled up, and this should be an easy kill on that tanky support.
You were talking about it earlier, but just... I feel the Orchid on those Lifestealer has been extremely undervalued. It has got them plenty of key kills, especially that one on the Invoker, who could have just ghost walked out, but Orchid amping damage as well, and wow.
Yeah, it's really great
really
in
like
this lineup. I think that this is a super solid lineup to go the Orchid, and it's also not something people super expect since the Echo Saber Deso build is much more common.
Mm-hmm. It's worth mentioning, too, they kind of drafted accordingly for any situation. They have the Beastmaster, right, with the detection just from the Necronomicon. They have the Silence in case they need to pop, Orchid on the Ghost Walk or the Bat Rider. They have lots of tools at their disposal, and I'm really surprised at how well Purdue is pulling off this comp. They've played it very well this far.
I agree. They've just really solid execution, and also just they're not sieging too early in top. They're not trying to start a fight that they can't take. They're just taking their time, farming up the map, knowing that they're doing a little bit better when it comes to farming than the Dire lineup. And it does feel like it's Purdue's game to lose at this point.
Lincoln's is now picked up by the Jug. That's an interesting one.
He wants to
I
block
think it'll
Lasso.
definitely catch the Bat off guard.
Yeah, but the problem is, right, there's so many other things that pop the Lincolns. I know he wants to block Lasso, but, like, I'm unsure whether that'll be what's blocked, given that you've got Paralyzing Cask, you've got both Ignite and Fireball, you've got Cold Snap.
There are a lot of tools, but I feel the Lincoln's on its own should be a pretty decent tool this game for the Jug. And we'll see him go for the racks here again. I don't think they'll commit too hard to this. Oh, Jug almost committed.
Yeah,
Oh, they don't lose racks. That's pretty big.
Jug has a Manta, so they don't have to commit too hard. Juggernaut, though, taking a lot of damage here. A nice EMP as well, but there it is, the Chaotic Offering coming out, and that just causes so many problems for this Dire lineup. Ursa has already gone down. No buyback this time. Lifestealer murdering the Ogre Magi. Not quite able to due to a nice multicast, but there are more creeps coming in to beat him up if they need, and yeah, this is just not looking good for our Dire lineup.
And now with 2 golems, the strength of this push is just increased dramatically. Currently they're being microed behind the tier 4s. Not ideal, but it is zoning a tad, I suppose.
Yeah, they're just trying to use them to, well, right now they're just kind of standing still, but I think at first they were doing some good zoning. As you mentioned, they were causing issues for this Dire lineup. Sunstrike gonna be off the mark again, and Lifestealer taking a little bit of damage here, but he hasn't gone down yet. A nice swap to safety. He is taking a bit of dot, so he has to be careful, but yeah, he's just gonna rage. Be fine. They got both sets of racks. Yes, they lost the Venge, but that's more than worth it.
Yeah, that just great fight there. And 2 golems, very strong. Chaotic's offerings this game have been spot on. Everything they need in the team fights. If they lose Jug here, that would be a pretty big blow. Oh! I would like to hear some praise for the Lincolns there.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's the nice side of it. I'm not sure if I like it overall, but definitely helping you TP escape like that.
I'm just giving you a hard time, Mom, but that was probably the only time it'll be useful this game.
No, I mean, I think it's still really good. You can throw it on people, you waste at least 1 spell, but I think it's... I mean, you're trying to block the lasso, but the problem is there are a lot of other spells, and BKB does the rest of them, and of course Lincoln's will be the only thing that blocks.
Yeah, and you could just pop Lincolns if you're the bat with your Force Staff and move on with your life, so it's... I'm not sure how I feel about it.
Either way, it doesn't
okay.
super matter, because now
they're doing fine.
Purdue, yeah, almost 20,000 net worth ahead, over 12,000 experience. They've done a really good job of getting themselves ahead and playing this lineup super well.
That said, I think they still are vulnerable. I don't think they could continue pushing here. They'll back up a tad. This is smart. I think if the entirety of RMU was down here, both these heroes could probably die. But they'll play it safe. It's worth mentioning RMU has no vision outside of that single ward, so it's... Well, I guess they have one in their base. That's useful.
Yeah, Beastmaster has 4,500 gold saved up, Juggernaut 3.5. I kind of wonder what we'll be seeing coming out there. I think Beastmaster, perfect AC carrier, which will also help them melt these buildings. Oh gosh, I didn't even catch that. Juggernaut just murdering Witch Doctor.
No Omni Slash. That was just murder. Was that an Invis rune?
No, he was just running in mid. Like, they saw him. He was just pushing the wave. Because I remember I looked over at him. Venge trying to be very aggressive on the Invoker, but not really getting what she wants. And yeah, Beastmaster now playing far up. Lifestealer still inside of him. So Beastmaster, yeah, there we go. Gonna say, you're not exactly the tower sieger, and you don't want to be taking too much damage, but he'll make it work.
Infest is already off cooldown again, but no big deal. They could just move and take Rasha. They scouted out with the courier.
Which is kind of funny because they have a Beastmaster, so they definitely don't need to be using the courier for scouting, but you know, just extra vision. Sunstrike going to be going down somewhere. Didn't quite... Oh. It went down over here. Omni Slash gonna finish off the Batman. Nice job also getting a kill, but now silenced up, and he is going down. Another Chaotic Offering right on this Invoker's head. And there are 2 buybacks available, but I wouldn't be surprised if these are the lost straws. Yeah, GG's cold.
And a fairly even start for, I would argue, the teams. And wow, just Purdue put into overdrive that game. They played very well in the second half of that one.
Yeah, I think really nicely done, really clean execution as well, coming out of Purdue. So, oh no, not the game coordinator. Anyway, folks, we will be back after this game and a few words from our sponsors. See you again right quick.
Only $14.99. Don't miss the call. Download Band. Communication made easy.
What a thrill, with darkness and silence through the night. What a thrill, I'm searching and I'll melt into you. What a fear in my heart, but you're so supreme. I give my life, not for honor, but for you. In my time, there'll be no one else. Crime, it's the way I fly to you. I'm still in a dream, snake eater. Someday you go through the rain, and someday you'll feed on a tree frog. It's ordeal, the trial to survive for the day.